Hi, this is Greg Hughes from 90-Second Website Builder. You know, there's a lot of ways to make navigation on your website using this software. I'm going to talk to you about one specific way I like a lot. It's one of the jQuery tools, and it's called jQuery tabs. I used the jQuery tabs on my own website, 90secondwebsitebuilder.com, and so I was going to show you how I did that. I simply grabbed the jQuery tabs tool, as you can see, and drug a box out onto my website. And like with most objects 90-Second Website Builder provides you with, you just simply double click on them to bring up the properties so you can set what you want. Now the jQuery tabs tool starts me with two categories. Each of these categories has their own content area. This is where my content will go. Text, images, links, whatever I want, pretty much, would go in these areas. So I wanted a tabbed index on my site, but I needed several tabs. So what I did was I double clicked. First of all, I edited the names of these, but I also added some other tabs and edited those as well. So since I've already got one of these done, I thought I'd show you what it looks like complete, and then we'll kind of take it apart so you can see what I did. A little bit like a cooking show. I've already got some cookies in the oven over here, so let me delete this one, and let's go get one that I have that's all done. It's right over here. So as you can see, I made several tabs. I double clicked and I added some tabs, edited their names, and pretty much ended up with what you see on my website. Each one of these has a content area underneath it, and I filled it with objects. So let's look at that really quick. The content area, which makes up this part of the screen right here, is important to note that when you put something into the content area, it has to be all the way in. I'll show you what I mean. So for example, this is just an image that I made in Photoshop. Let me take this out of the content area, and you'll see that when I bring it in, there's a highlight that appears in the tabbed index object. It's right there. See that blue highlight? It highlights the whole content area. That blue highlight tells me that I have successfully set an object in place. And now I can place it where I want in here. If I'm even outside of the line a little bit, it won't work. Right there will not work because it's not highlighted. It's not actually inside the content area. This is now a separate object from the tabbed index. But as soon as I get that highlight, it's now part of the tab index and will sit inside this content area just fine. So I put that there. I also did this with text, and of course this was just a matter of using the text tool, which you're probably familiar with if you've done anything in 90-Second at all yet. I just grab the text tool, I go like this, double click, and start typing. Or in my case, I just pasted in some text that I already had written elsewhere, pasted it in there. So the objects in here can be almost anything you want, text and images. This is a text with a link. So I simply made some text. I selected it by dragging over it. I right-clicked, created a link so I could link it to my video. That's what that goes to. I also did it with this particular image. I believe this image is available in our library. It's a pretty common image to find. And if you double-click on this, you'll see I also made this a link. So if people click the text link or the image, they'll watch the video. In fact, I did it with this image as well. If you double click here, you'll see I also made this into a link by typing the link there. Here's some more text, although this is special text. This is text that's called an H2 header, an H2 tag, I mean. That's what this is right here. I made this an H2 tag for search engine optimization purposes. Google likes to see H1 and H2 tags, and so I wanted this particular text to be that. When you do that, 90-Second sets the formatting of this for you. You don't want to edit the look of an H2 or an H1 tag. And in fact, you can't to some degree. You just want it to be what Google is expecting. So this is where I wanted my H2 tag. This is where I wanted my content text, the body of my text, and of course my images. And I just lined everything up. One of the great things about 90-Second Website Builder is because you can shape the text on your site, you can make it look nicer by making it line up with images a little bit better. So when I first typed this text, maybe it came out like this, but just by dragging it and stretching it, I can make it fit the box a little bit better, kind of lined up more with this image. And so that's what I did. You'll see that in some other tabs. So for the landing page, what I did was, I wanted this to be an H2 tag, so I did that. I selected this text, and I came up here and made it an H2 tag like I did the other one. But this text, I can stretch this text if I really wanted to go over here, but I thought it looked nicer kind of being this size. So I just think that's a nice way to manage your text. You can put exactly where you want it. Kind of wanted it to line up with this one, and I wanted it to fill as much space as it could. And then this text was like this, but I wanted it to fit nicely over this image, so I simply stretched it like this, so it would fit nicely square over this particular image. This is just one image that I made. Another link, and that took care of this content area. Did the same thing with these. These are all images that are brought in, and then some more text and links. Mobile sites the same way. Here I have 3 links to videos, and I stretched the text down so it would fill this area. This is one image that I drug in like this, and you can see it's easy to do. Same thing for these. Here's an image that I put on top of another image. This is one of the unique things you can do with 90-Second Website Builder, is that you can put an image on top of another image. And so I just thought that looked nicer. I didn't need all of this image showing anyway, so I just went like that, add a little bit of flair to it. Same thing here. This is an image. There's some more text. But here's something interesting. On the embed video area, I wanted to show people how they could put a YouTube video on their website. So instead of taking an image, I actually put a YouTube video here. I'll show you what I mean. Let me move this out of the way so you can see how I did it. I went and grabbed the YouTube tool, and I simply drug it into place. Again, I'm inside the content area, so you can see that blue highlight. And then double click, and I gave it the address. It's not this one. I put in a different address because there's a video I wanted to see. I set all my parameters, and then I also, in my case, I liked a little border, so I clicked on that and made a little border. Now, after I did that, I ended up with my YouTube video in this particular spot. So I'll show you what I mean. Here's where it is, the one I made right here. Here's the actual address, and there's my border. And it's that simple. So as long as that blue highlight is working, I can't have my video like this. It won't work. It won't be inside the object correctly. I just drug it in like that, and we're good to go. And then I had an area called image effects. These are just images and some more text. And then here, the navigation, in my case, I actually put real navigation bars. So I used the nav bar tool and put a nav bar right here so people could hover over that and see what it looks like. This is a menu bar tool and some other stuff. These are actually images, though, because this is an image of the jQuery accordion. You can't have a jQuery object inside another jQuery object. So these are images. And here's another image. This is actually an image of the tab index, but since we're inside a tab index, this needs to be an image because you can't put a tab index inside a tab index. That's why I said you can put almost anything inside the content area. There's some things you can't put in here, and one of the things would be another jQuery object. It will just the code will conflict, and you'll have all kinds of problems. But images and videos and text and all that good stuff is no problem. So it's that simple. When you're all done, you end up with a really cool way to provide content on your website without taking up a lot of scrolling space. People just need to click tabs to get the content. It's just another good way to provide navigation with 90-Second Website Builder.